Hello, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to talk about context. So with context, we will create podcast data for component tree. So first, let's create an example. In the component folder, let's create a new file and put the name child component.js. And this one, we create a functional component named child component. And this one has the parameter props. And we will return a view with a very simple view, which is h1. And this h1 will have contain the message from your main parent is the props. Okay, let's create a curly bracket first, and props the message. Okay, and don't forget to export the children component as before for this file. And now let's create another component. So we copy it for fast, copy and paste here, and I've changed the name to the parent component. And also this one, parent component. And also for the posting, and inside this I just return the child component. Okay, and for child I will pass props for it. For this I will use the destructuring for the props. Okay, just pass the props into the child component. Alright, now let's create another one by copying and change the name to the grandparent component. And this one, okay, let's change the parent component to the grandparent, and also grandparent. And for this one I will change it to a parent component. Okay, just remove this, and I change to use the parent component. Alright, and for this one, instead of pass the props, because this is the root of the component, so I will pass the value for the props. So first I create a message equal this is the message from grandparent. Okay, and then I will add the attribute message by the message. Okay, alright, now let's go back to the app and add the grandparent component for testing, and let's run it. npm start. Alright, you can see here this is the message from grandparent. So the example is very easy to understand, right? We just pass the props through the components, right? From the root, the grandparent component, into the child. Maybe in more deeper if you want to. Maybe the maybe something surround the grandparent, and maybe in the nested inside the child components, and maybe more. But by doing that, as you see, you need to use the props, and every time you want to change anything from the root, from the grandparent here into the child, you need to pass it via the middle components like parent component. Okay, if you have more component in the middle layer, you will do something like this more, and this is not good. This is a bad thing. So that's why we have the thing like context. So context will help us to packet data for component tree. Alright, so let's improve the example with context. In the alright, so in the grand parent, we will create grand parent. Okay, grand parent. Let's create alright, I think I need to separate that message into a new file. Create a new file and put the name. So okay, I think that's no need to do that. Just create the export a constant message context equal react create context. Okay, and I will surround the parent component by the message context provider tag like this. Okay, and I will go to the parent component and remove this one. This one now is not necessary. And go to the child component and surround the context with the message context consumer. Okay, and for the consumer we can have the context inside the consumer. We can accept the context like this. Okay, the context is now is a string value. Alright, we have something here. Yeah. In the crane parent component, I need to, because we create a React, create context from React, so we need to import a React first. React. Okay, save it. Context is not defined. Okay. Let's go to the child component again, and yeah, this one. Okay. Let's add the context. We need to define the context first. Context a row and yeah. And maybe h1 and h1. I will remove the h1 surround the message content. Alright, save it. And now go back to the example. We see a empty. Let's refresh. Content. We forgot to do something, right? So go back to the grandparent in the provider. Okay, in the parent component, we now we don't need to add the message props again, but we add the value for the provider. The value is the message. And save it. Now you see that we have the text here. We have the text again by using the context. Alright, that's the example of the benefit when using context. And alright, you can see here we are using a functional component. So how we can do with the context with the class component? So let's try to change the child component as the class component. Class child components, and of course without the props, extend React component, and don't forget to import React. And in here we will use the render, right? Render, and copy the return into the body of the render. And in here, instead of using the create define the context like this, we just access the context by using this keyword. Okay, and you need to assign the context type of the child component by the message context. Okay, inside the component class component, we mustn't use the message context to surround this like this. Okay, after remove that, we have the message here with the class component for the child component. Alright, I think that's it for this video, and if you have any question, please feel free to ask me in the comment section. And thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.